Good afternoon and welcome to another story from my book, Tales of a Modern Alchemist, Real Life Stories of Magic and Transmutation. So this is the introduction and it is called In These Times of Silence. I actually wrote this book last year, 2020, at the beginning of the pandemic. And so now I understand much more, settled into a pattern, into a routine, and I understand much more the processes and the results of that intense period of introspection that I decided that since we had no choice but staying at home, to use it to my advantage. So I spent considerable time meditating, and I noticed that there were two kinds of people, like two parallel emotional separations. People focusing on the problems and people focusing on the solutions. I chose not to look at the problems and to focus on the solutions because I understand or I feel that focusing on the problems is like an excuse to find fault and even criticize, but the result is stagnation in negativity. Whether you like it or not, if you focus on your problems, you will get locked into that negativity. And I think it's part of the new rhythm that was being born from the stillness, and I see it very, very clearly in my life. During this period of time, I have opened a YouTube account, Live Discussions with Dr. Anna, where I put all my books, videos for spirituality, inspirational videos, Spanish and English, and an Instagram account where I put posts, inspirational quotes, also the videos, but also little posts, and tons and tons and tons of little posts. And I've done the same with Polyglot Bust. I created a polyglot chain in YouTube with lessons, and now I've started also in Instagram. So I am integrating parts of both metaphysics in languages and languages in metaphysics, passing inspiration into my languages to reach different cultures, and passing some of the words into my metaphysics to expand in different languages. And walking these two parallel paths, which are my two passions, and I am borrowing from one and the other and weaving it. Like a spider, my net, and putting there my color, my music, my rhythm, my patterns, my expression. So I can say that this year has given me the opportunity of finding myself in the whole scope, and so that now I can express myself with my signature and my specific character or charisma or personality. So in that way, I feel that this year has given me the opportunity of arriving. Of course, I based everything I'm doing now on the information or learning that I had done before, my diplomas, my PhD, my languages, work in the schools, my educational approach. But I was missing the color, the freedom, the being able to zigzag with intuition as it came. And I'm much happier now. So first started with a limitation, then we needed to accept and approve and participate in a world that we want to build, in a world that we want to construct. And so anything that is not true for us, we had to let it go, which is what I did. Because the price that we pay is too high, it's chronic unhappiness. I've lived many years and I can tell you that if I can help it, I will not choose unhappiness, and I proactively construct my happiness. It's not something that will come off a tree, it's something that you need to focus on the positive, choose your energy and decide what works for you and go in that direction. A second notion on the same line of discipline in our thoughts is that when we look at our lives, we see the positive and negative manifestations. So when we focus on what's missing, because we are naturally expansive beings, and we want to include what we perceive as missing, then we think that would make us happy. But the fact that we are giving these missing items or thoughts creates a momentum that once accelerated is very difficult to stop. And so what I noticed, and maybe you have as well, is that in Aries last year, 2020, it was the new beginning and an opportunity for an evolutionary rebirth into the air of Aquarium. So I concluded that the way to go was to shift our mindset, releasing low vibrational thinking, which were the thoughts that no longer serve us, which is our real prison. So what I did is everything I had done and I loved, but under other people's requirements, I let go of that and I created the way that I wanted to flow, the same information and knowledge, but in a way that I could play with it. So I went back to my childhood when I used to love to color and music and dance and languages and writing and reading. And I encapsulated all that into a grown-up experience, but instead of using pencils, using technology. So I've spent the whole year learning how to do this technically in the internet, with internet, apps up and down and trial and error until I finally found what works for me. And I can tell you that now I have arrived. The individual consciousness is meeting the collective reality. We're not going to create anything new. Everything is already there, but we are going to create it our way. And that is the excitement and the expansiveness. Now we can make a point of acceleration from illusion to knowing during this opportunity for settling and soothing our consciousness. Tap into our heartfelt intuition and discern the direction of what individual liberation means to each one of us, and thus participating into the collective evolution for a better future. And this, my friends, in my heart, is pure healing. I hope you enjoyed this introduction. There is so much more to come. Keep tuned. Thank you for listening. And as I said, the book is already available in Amazon. See you next time.